Paul Steinhauser, kind enough to join us from New Hampshire live. He's a campaign reporter for Fox News and a great talent, and kind enough to join us this early in the morning. Paul, good morning, my friend. Thanks for jumping on the air with us, man.
Hey, Joe, good to be with you. Last week it was Iowa, now it's New Hampshire. Let's do it again. We'll do Nevada and South Carolina coming up soon.
Oh, you know what? Don't say that. We love having you, Paul. That would be great. So give us the breakdown on New Hampshire. What are you hearing? What's going on? Buttigieg looks apparently, but is it just Buttigieg and Bernie? Is that who's going to end up surfacing in this primary?
It looks like it's Bernie's state to win, right? If he doesn't win, it's he doesn't meet expectations. He's ahead in the final polls. He's bringing in huge crowds, or huge, as he would say. It's Bernie's state to win, and we expect him to win. It's almost baked in now that Bernie Sanders is going to win here. This is a state where he trounced Hillary Clinton 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Buttigieg came out of Iowa raging, right?
Yeah.
He's skyrocketing in the polls. Right now, the final public opinion polls that came out yesterday and late Sunday night, he's in second place. One of those two polls, though, suggested that he was losing steam over the weekend, and he was doing that at the expense of Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota. But I will say, Joe, the crowds were really, really large for Buttigieg as well all weekend. So there seems to be a lot of enthusiasm for him. It's really a battle for third place. That's the big question. And who's going to finish third? Is it going to be Senator Elizabeth Warren from neighboring Massachusetts? Is it going to be the former Vice President Joe Biden?
Yeah.
Or is Klobuchar going to surprise people and maybe edge those two out for third? And listen, if Biden or Warren doesn't finish third, especially for Biden, boy, this is a lot of trouble. His firewall in South Carolina starts burning down, doesn't it, Joe?
Yeah, it really does. You're right, Paul. So and Klobuchar looked good in that last debate, and I could not, for the life of me, figure out Klobuchar's allure at all. And I had a friend tell me, a man I have great respect for, he says, watch Amy Klobuchar. Then she started to talk at this last debate, making sense and respectfully going up against Bernie and Buttigieg and Elizabeth Warren. And I think that she at least surfaced. But this looks like it's going to be Bernie, Buttigieg. What could you tell me, Paul? You're the expert, man. You're the professional. You're down there. You see it. When you see Buttigieg live, I'm failing to see the allure of Buttigieg, this South Bend, Indiana mayor, former mayor. What is the allure with that, do you think?
You know, he's the fresh young face. He's 38 years old. He's the youngest one in the field.
Okay.
He'll make history if he wins the White House. He'll be the first openly gay president. He's an Afghanistan war vet, so he's got that as well. He's a very for his age, I got to say, Joe, I've seen a lot of him. I've interviewed him a bunch.
Yeah.
Very well accomplished, a very good speaker, almost that allure of Obama in a way. So I can see why people are attracted to him. He's more of a moderate, like Biden and like Klobuchar. He's not further to the left like Bernie Sanders or Warren, and a lot of people in the party like that. But there's a lot of people who are worried that, A, he's A, too young, and B, the only thing he's ever done is be mayor of a city that's about 100,000 people.
Yeah, and now they're questioning. Did you see them go after his military record, too? I mean, I can't talk. I never had the privilege to serve, man, but they said he went there. He just went there a couple of weeks. He just stayed in an office job, and he didn't go through any basic training to get there, and they're trying to tear that apart. So you know that he is indeed a threat. But you're looking at, I'm thinking Bernie, yeah, definitely Bernie. But do you think Biden can recover if he does win in South Carolina? And I'm thinking now, if he loses, like you just said, Biden, will they just bury him in South Carolina now?
Yeah, Biden's got a couple of issues, right? He's underperforming. That's never good in politics, right? He's not meeting expectations.
Yeah.
His campaign's been writing off New Hampshire, and the candidate himself has basically been writing off New Hampshire for a couple of days. Some of his advisors already moved on to South Carolina. If he has another poor finish here, Joe, he's already hurting for campaign cash.
Yeah.
That only gets worse. You saw the national polls that came out last night and this morning. They have Bernie on top now. Remember, Joe was always on top in the nationals, and now Bloomberg is caught up with Joe Biden in the national polls. A poor finish here spells big trouble for Joe Biden. He's going to need Nevada and South Carolina to save his campaign. Otherwise, it's done.
We love Paul Steinhauser. You got the energy, brother. I love that early in the morning. That's what. No, I love it, man. You know, you know what you're talking about. You're up. And what? Let me ask you something. What's Dixville Notch? What is this bizarre tradition they do up there? Are you hip to this?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so there are three towns. Dixville Notch is the most famous, the one everybody knows about. There's two others as well, way up there in northern New Hampshire.
Okay.
And they have this tradition of voting at midnight on primary day. So they've already voted. Dixville Notch had 6 people voting. So, it's not like it's a big predictor. 3 wrote in Bloomberg. One was for four wrote in Bloomberg, one for Sanders, and one for Buttigieg. So take it with a grain of salt, but everybody goes up there when they cast their ballots at Dixville Notch.
Wow, that's wild. So maybe do you think that will translate into what's happening throughout the whole state?
Not at all. It's six people in the northern part of the state. They do the same thing on election day as well. So it'll be, how many votes for Trump and how many votes for whoever the Democratic nominee is.
Now, the president was up there yesterday, had a big rally. Did you get to see any of that, Paul?
No, but I was out there earlier in the day talking to a lot of his supporters.
Yeah.
I was with the Democrats last night. But I've been to plenty of Trump rallies back in 2016 and this cycle as well. So, the whole idea here, he did the same thing in Iowa. He went to Iowa a couple of days before the caucuses. The whole idea is to pump up, first is to grab a little bit of the spotlight away from the Democrats. Number two, pump up the energy on Republicans. And that's really important here because not only is New Hampshire the first primary state, it's one of those battleground states, the smallest, but it's still a battleground state. He narrowly lost to Hillary Clinton by less than 3,000 votes 4 years ago. This is one of the states, Joe, the Trump campaign thinks they can flip from blue to red. That's why they were here with a show of force. Him, the vice president, tons of people from the campaign were all up here yesterday. A lot of them are going to stay today.
Wow. And New Hampshire, independents can vote either Democratic or Republican in the primary, right, Paul?
I'm an independent, as we call them up here, undeclared voters. I'm going to go in a couple minutes after I'm done talking to you. I'm going to go vote. I'll decide if I want to vote in the Democratic or Republican primary. And the second I'm over, I go back and redeclare myself as an independent. That's what you can do in New Hampshire.
You're an independent. You never notice everything in New Hampshire makes sense. You're from there, then. You live there, actually. Is that what you're?
Oh, yeah, I live here. My wife's from here. She's a native, and we're raising our kids in this beautiful state.
Wow, man. Live free or die. Is that what the mantra is? Because the taxes are, great. I've been up there. It really is a great, great place. It's very interesting that you stay up there, yet I guess you travel back and forth. But you're mostly on the road when you do your reporting. It's all over the United States, correct?
Yeah, Fox News sends me all over on the campaign trail. So, I do a lot of traveling. But I've been here a lot because a lot of the action's been here, obviously, and in Iowa up until now.
Okay.
That's going to change now.
But this is great. 7:14 with Joe Piscopo and Paul Steinhauser, a campaign reporter for Fox News, live from New Hampshire. So you're from New Hampshire. This is great. You got the feel. You got the flavor. You know the people, man. What's your prediction for the primaries today, Paul?
No, it's an easy one at the top, right? I think it's going to be Bernie Sanders. This is Bernie country, and then Buttigieg. But then I'm not going to make a prediction for third, but that's going to be key. Who finishes third, fourth, and fifth? And then, Joe, one last thing. A lot of these lower-tier candidates who are still in the race, and they're good people, like Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado, Deval Patrick, the former governor of Massachusetts, Tulsi Gabbard, the Hawaii congresswoman. You're going to see some of these people to start dropping out tomorrow after they probably get shellacked tonight in the primary results here.
You're right. Paul, a great report. We really appreciate it. Keep us posted. We'll talk to you hopefully maybe tomorrow or whenever you can. We appreciate it. And all the very best up there, Paul. And thanks for joining us always, my friend.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, man. Paul Steinhauser right there, campaign reporter for Fox News live from New Hampshire.